Hey guys, welcome to DevOps School. Today we are going to learn about Splunk. Splunk is a tool which is used for monitoring, searching, analyzing and visualizing the machine generated data in real time. It can monitor and read different type of log files and stores data as events in indexers. This tool allows you to visualize data in various forms of dashboards. In short, we can say Splunk makes machine data accessible, usable and valuable for everyone.
But before that, let me ask you a few things. Are you dreaming of a career with higher pay and more responsibilities? Or are you ready to take your skills to the next level this year? Then start investing in DevOps School certification level courses which will help you to emerge skills for a wide range of entry level roles and as well as higher potential future positions. But with thousands of courses online and in classroom worldwide, finding the right one for your career goals can be difficult. You can consider our courses like Agile Developer, Agile QA, DevOps Certified Professionals, Site Reliability Engineering, DevSecOps, and Masters in DevOps Engineering, where you will have access to well-structured, easy-to-follow course content that has been developed and will be delivered by industry professionals. You can join on our training programs globally through online platforms, and if you are looking for classroom workshops, then we have regular sessions available in Bangalore, Hyderabad, Chennai, Delhi NCR, Mumbai, and in Pune. Simply compare our many courses, find the one that suits your style and schedule best, and start today.
Moving to the next. So these are the basic commands. So when we will be working on CLI, we'll be seeing it. I hope you are already aware with most of the commands.
Yeah, I am.
Okay. Next important thing is the monitoring console. In simple term, monitoring console is just imagine it as a health alert, health check of this Splunk. Okay, just imagine this health check of this Splunk. Yep, let's move to this Splunk and see what it is basically. Settings span here, monitoring console here. So Pat, when you go to the monitoring console, you can see the current version of Splunk. You can see my operating system, Windows 8 GB it is, physical memory, 8 GB Windows version is running, 2 CPU core and mode is standalone. I can see most of the things here. It is showing me, so Pat, the most beautiful thing about Splunk is it has n number of dashboards. It is very flexible. I can create any type of dashboard I want. Okay, indexing rate it is showing, license usage it is showing, a number of things it is showing. Not of much use to me. One question to you, Pat. Right now I don't have any indexer. Sorry, I clicked on something. Right now I haven't configured any universal forwarder and I'm not ingesting any data actively. Then why the hell it is showing me an indexing rate for 5.19 KB per second? Any idea about that?
No, I have no idea.
Okay, so what this Splunk is doing is basically Splunk is, I already told you, monitoring console is a health check. Splunk is collecting huge amount of data, huge amount of information about itself, and it is storing it into the internal indexes. That's what it is, 5.19 KB per second. It is storing its internal data continuously. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. This is the one. Monitoring console platform alerts. So I think you are already having it in your production environment. Here it is, alert setup here. So Pat, this is the platform alerts that are configured on your Splunk. This is continuously checking the health of the Splunk and will alert you whenever the threshold has been reached. For example, here you can see expired and soon to expire license. You have license that expired or will expire within 1 week. You can create an alert here. It's an already pre-created alert. If you want to edit here, you can click on edit. I don't want 1 week. I want to get notified on 4 weeks. No, edited 4 weeks. It is no. Similarly, DMC near critical disk usage. You have used 50% of your disk usage capacity. I don't want to be notified on 50%. I want to get notified on 90%. I can do it. If you want to make more changes, advanced changes, you can click on advanced edit. Now what I want basically in the actions tab, I want an email to myself. I can add an action here.
Okay.
I want an email. Okay, so you can set the email as well to yourself. Okay.
Yeah. So this
Now
is
you
where in the action setting, that's where you can set whether you want an email or a notable event or
right, absolutely right.
okay.
Now you want to dig deeper and you want to edit the edit the edit the search command. You can do
Mhm.
it as well. I also don't know what will open, but yeah, if you are expert in writing searches, you can edit the search command as
Okay.
well.
Yeah. Okay. I see that. Yeah.
Okay.
This is my day-to-day work. So the editing, the search, writing of searches and all those things. So,
Oh, okay, okay.
mm,
So similarly, there are 8 alerts pre-built. You want to enable it, so you have to enable it. Most of them are disabled. You have to enable it. Okay, enable
mhm,
them from here. So this is about the alert setup. Now moving to the next part is the health check items.
mhm.
This is where this is present here. Health check items. So in production, see, these are the health checks that are pre-written, and it can't be converted into an alert. Your analyst has to come here and to run it manually. So what
Mhm.
we do in production environment, we keep it as a daily practice. We set up that in the morning shift resource, whoever is in the morning shift, he will be running the search, this health check item.
I'm sorry. Did you say?
So in production environment, Pat, we make it as a daily practice of analyst to come here and check this and run this manual check. Okay.
Uh, So your analysts are able to do the. Oh, there's an echo.
There is an echo. One second.
Yeah. Mm.
Pat, is it clear now?
Yes. Now I can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what I was saying is our analyst, we make it as a daily practice of people or analysts coming here, logging into this Splunk and running this health check item. Okay, that's what this is. So if they run a health check here, new health check item, let me click on this one. Sorry. It is-
How do you get to the health check item again? That's under settings, health check. Okay.
Sorry, here, it's here, health check here.
Home check.
Here, these are the health check items.
Okay.
Pre-written queries they are, and when I hit a start, it will start analyzing Splunk based on that. See, it will give a result. Just wait 1 second. It is taking too much time. No, I don't know why it is slow. It
Mhm.
doesn't take that much. Let me run it again.
Okay.
No issues, Pat. Let it run. So what it will show me in the end? It will show me a report. If it's an error, it will show me error. If it's pass, it will show me pass here. Okay.
Okay.
Let it run. We'll check it in some time. Not an issue.
Okay.
So this is a health check. It will give you the result in a kind of report that uh, this is working fine. This is not working fine. There is an error. Okay, that kind of things it will be showing you. And if there is an expired license, it will show. It will throw an alert here. That's there. You have an expired license. Similarly, assessment of use server limit. In the beginning, I showed you that this is the best practice that you have to do. You have to change the use server limits. If you haven't changed it, it will show you an error here. Linux kernel transparent huge pages, it will show an error there if you haven't changed the things according to the Splunk best practice. Okay, so these are the things that you will be seeing on this page.
So is this where is it also checking for SIM compliance or
SIM compliance, like what?
like if the data is in compliance with the Splunk requirements?
There is nothing like that, Pat. What is the exact question? I'm not able to understand.
Oh, you were talking about the errors, like it will show an error if the
Error related to the Splunk that is running, not the data and other things. It is related to
Oh,
Splunk only.
okay, that's what I was trying to understand.
Okay, that's what it is. It is taking time. Let's come back after some time. Not an issue.
Oh,
Yeah, so this is some of the basic tasks. I think you are already aware of them. I think you don't require the practical. Am I correct?
yep.
Okay, great. Now coming to the license management. This is the most important part here. So I asked you last time, Pat, what is your total license that you have? What was
Yeah.
the
So
license? You checked it?
no, the thing is, like with our environment, we don't have a license per se. We manage other people's licenses, other companies' licenses.
How many people your company you are managing, Pat?
We have over 200 customers.
Okay,
So
one second.
yeah.
Yeah, tell me, Pat. You have 200 customers and
Yeah, we have over 200 customers, and all those customers, when they come to our company, it will be like, okay, I want to buy a license of 50 gigabytes. How much are you going to charge for you to monitor this license for me?
Mhm.
Does that make sense? So we are
Yeah, it
charged
is making sense.
to monitor and manage that license. We are not the ones that are buying the license or selling them the license from Splunk. They
Okay,
deal
okay,
directly
understood.
with Splunk.
Okay. But Pat, it is not possible to manage 200 customers with a
Yeah,
single team. It will
I
require at
mean,
least, I
it's
think,
not a single team. I told
50
you the company has over 300 workers. I'm not the only person.
300 in SOC. In SOC, am I correct?
It's not a SOC. It's not only a SOC. It's a
Okay,
managed service provider. It's
okay.
MSSP. Yeah.
Also worked on MSSP, but okay, no issues. Uh, let's move to the license management part. So, Pat, there are mainly two types of license, but
Mhm.
in this course, there are five type of license mentioned.
Okay.
Generally, there are two types. I'll tell you in the end. Let's first understand what all are the different types. The first one is the enterprise trial license. When you download the Splunk from their website here, when you reach the website, download the Splunk Enterprise, it automatically comes with a license where you have a limit of 500 MB per day and valid for 60 days. After that, you have to purchase this one enterprise license. You have to pay it. The first license, when you download and install this Splunk, is the enterprise trial license. It comes with a 500 MB per day limit. and you have 60 days limit. 500 MB per day, the data limit, and 60 days of time limit. There is one more sales trial license. If you are a big organization, suppose I'm HP, I want to integrate Splunk. First, I want a testing. This 500 MB per day will not work for me. I'll reach to the Splunk team. I'll tell them that I'm a big organization HP. I'll be buying this much, that much from you. But first of all, I need a trial license. So give me a big trial license. So they can release a trial license, for example, of 50 GB for 10 days or 20 days for your testing. That's called as a sales trial license. The third license is the enterprise license. That is the main license for which you have to pay. Purchased from Splunk, full functionality of indexing, everything is there. So this enterprise trial license and this one is same. It's just that there is a limit of 500 MB per day and it is valid for 60 days. But you have to purchase this one. You have to purchase, for example, I will be ingesting 10 GB per day or 20 GB per day or 1 TB of license. And the validity, it will be 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, depends. That's what an enterprise license is. The fourth one is the free license. If, for example, enterprise trial license, if within 60 days you didn't purchase this enterprise license, after 60 days it is going to convert into a free license where most of the things will be disabled. Alerts will be disabled, authentication, clustering, distributed search, summarization, forwarding to non-Splunk server, everything will be disabled. But it keeps on indexing 500 MB per day of data. Okay. Then there is forwarder license also. When you download and install the forwarder also comes with a license, but there is no penalty, there is no limit, nothing. It's just for authentication. Just allowing authentication, but nothing else. Just for username and password saving it, this license is there, and just accepting the terms and condition of these.
Okay.
Clear to you? Any doubt in licensing part?
Yeah, I understand.
Let's talk about the license warning and violations. What all are the warnings and violation? If the indexing exceeds the allocated daily quota in a pool, an alert is raised in the message on any page in the Splunk web. Whenever you are exceeding the license, see, you have a limit of 5 or more warnings on an enforced enterprise license or 3 warnings on a free license in a rolling 30-day period. Suppose, Pat, you went to the Splunk, you asked them that I need a license of 10 GB per day for 1 year. This is your license. Now, every 30 day, it will be calculated for violation and warnings. If you exceeded this 10 GB per day, for example, on one day you reached on 11 GB, on next day you reached on 13 GB, or third day you reached on 15 GB. If you exceed it 5 times, it will be considered as a violation. Then you have to pay for the exceeded part as well. You have to pay the amount. Clear it is?
Yeah.
Previously, what happened? Previously, Splunk Enterprise 6.5.0. Previously, when you exceeded this 5 or more violation, when you exceeded this violation, what used to happen is they used to disable the searches. You will not be allowed to searches. But many organization came to Splunk that we are monitoring critical data. You can't just disable our search directly. If you want money, we can pay you. So you can consider your violation term and just don't disable our searches. At the end of the year, we will pay you, or at the end of the month, we can pay you. That's the logic. So right now, searches will not be disabled when you exceed your license. Clear? Pat?
Yeah. I can hear you.
Yeah. Next thing is, now we understood, okay, what is license warning and violation. Now let's talk about what is counted as your daily license quota. What is counted, Pat? So
That's
all the data.
okay.
Speak,
I thought
go
you
ahead.
asked me.
No issues. All the data from all the sources that is indexed. It is the data that flows through the parsing pipeline per day per indexer. It is not the amount of storage used by the indexes. Okay, it is the data that flows through the parsing pipeline per day per indexer. Keep this in mind. This is the data. What does not count against your license daily quota? All the replicated data. So when you have indexes in cluster, whatever data they are replicating, it doesn't count against your license. Summary indexes. So this is an advanced concept. So summary indexes, the indexer will be internally fetching some data and storing in summary indexes. This is for advanced or making your searches faster. This is for that. It's an optional thing. You want to do it, you can do it. Splunk internal logs. Splunk is also generating huge amount of data about itself and storing it. That is also not counted against your license quota. And structural component of index, for example, metadata and TSIDX file. These are also not counted against your daily license quota. Okay. Licenses. Now, where is the licensing page and how things look like there? So let me go there. The settings page here. Here is the licensing tab at the bottom. Here you have a good overview here of the licensing part. So what is my current license? My current license is 10 GB. It expires on March 24, 2021. Okay. License volume used today, it is 1 MB. Now I want to have an overview of the past usage. I'll click on this usage report. I can see the data used in previous 30 days as well. I haven't stored anything, so it will not show. My Splunk is running very slowly. I don't know what happened. I have to delete some file. So today here you can see 0.001 GB I utilized. A very detailed information you can get it from here. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Change license group. Pat, if you have a license, you can easily come here on this licensing page. Have you uploaded a license in your environment?
Yes.
Yep. So I think you also don't need this practical. So just come here and just upload the license here. Your license will be uploaded and it will be installed. And you will just need a restart. Then it will be installed there. Check license warning and violation. If you are having any kind of warning or violation, you will be checking it from here.
Okay.
Okay. Where the license is stored in the etc licenses directory. So let me show it to you. etc, see, I'm in Splunk etc, clicking on licenses. Here is my license, enterprise one. Here is the license.
Okay.
So keep this in mind. If you are adding license through the CLI, this is the command Splunk add license and the part to the file. If you are doing it on GUI, this is where you upload the license. Clear? There is one more important thing. Change to slave. Do you know the concept of master and slave, Pat?
I understand the concept, but you can go ahead and explain.
To get our channel membership, click onto the join button, select the 399 plan and grow your skills immensely.
Okay, so let's start with the slave concept. So what happened, Pat, is in production environment, are you aware where the license is uploaded? For example, in production environment, I have 3 indexers. How the license will be uploaded and how things will be working? Any idea?
No.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So Pat, yeah, sure. So Pat, how things happen in work in production environment? Suppose there are 3 indexers and they are in cluster. Here, they are cluster. So I have a license. If I have to upload a license, what I'll be doing, I'll be having one more component that is called as license master. I'll be uploading my license here and I'll be telling all these machine that you have to report your license usage to this license master. For example, I have 1 GB of license, just an example. They will be reporting that I used every second they will be reporting their license consumption, that I have used 1 MB, I have used 5 MB, I have used 10 MB. That's how the license is calculated.
Okay.
Now there is a concept of master and slave. This where you are uploading the license, it will be called as master, and all other machines will be called as slave. They will become the slave.
Okay.
So suppose in my environment, I have this, suppose just imagine this is the license master, or just imagine there is Pat sitting beside me and she is having Splunk installed on her laptop, and this is the indexer. Now I want, right now it is acting as a master. license master server. In your environment, there can be more than one license master. There will be a single license master. Okay. In my environment, I am making Pat's Splunk server as the license master. So this one, my laptop, my indexer, I have to make it as a slave. So I'll just click on this change to slave, and I'll click on this designate a different Splunk instance as the license master server. So here I just have to provide the IP address of your machine and the port 8089. Then I'll save it. It will connect to your machine and it will become a slave of your machine. Then it will start showing as a license slave. Is it clear?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
In production environment, there will only be a single license master.
Okay.
Others will become his slave. Okay, clear. The same concept he is mentioning here. Now, there is one more concept of pooling. So I think it will be utilized in your environment mostly. I'm not sure, might be,
Mm-hmm.
but you can also utilize it. So what a pool of license is basically, suppose you purchase 500 GB of shared license. There is a, let me just take a snippet of it. Then I'll be able to explain it easily. Just one second. Yeah, suppose you purchased a 500 GB of shared entitlement license. All the indexers are reporting here. Okay. Now there can be, due to, suppose this is client A, this is client B, C, D, E. Now you have 500 GB limitation. This client A came to you, he told you that he will be using only 100 GB. Others told you that they will be requiring just 1 GB. 1 GB this one, 1 GB this one, 1 GB this one. Now due to, sorry, now due to n number of due to n number of XYZ reason, this indexer started consuming 1 TB of data. He will ask for 1 TB here, he will consume 1 TB here, he will violate the terms and condition. And once it is violated, these indexer will not be able to utilize it. Correct? Because everything has been consumed by this indexer server. Correct?
Mm-hmm.
Or this client. Now what I can do in that case is I can subdivide my license. This 500 GB, I can subdivide it. I can mark it as pool A, pool 2, pool 3. And I can subdivide the this GB as well. This I'll give him 100 GB only. For these two indexer, I'll give 200 GB. For these two indexer, I'll give 200 GB again.
Mm-hmm.
Is it clear?
Yeah.
Now the question is how to create pool. So let me go back to Splunk. Just one second. Let me make it as original. I did the practical. So here what I have here is Pat. I have 10 GB of license.
Mm-hmm.
There is an auto-generated pool already created. So just one second. I just made some changes. Just give me a second. Yeah, okay. This is 10 GB of license.
Mm-hmm.
When you freshly install a license on your machine, there will be a single auto-generated pool created, which is of 10 GB same. Now, what
Mm-hmm.
I want is to subdivide this pool. I will creating a new pool, add pool. For example, I want to add client A. Description you want to give. What is the specific amount you want to allocate? I want to give this 10 MB only. Which indexers are eligible to draw from this pool? You have a specific indexer. Your license master will be having the list of all the indexers. You will select that one and you will just submit it. See, I'll click OK. I have one pool created for me. Client. I can create multiple pools. And from this 10 MB, only that specific indexer will be drawing. If he is exceeding that, it will show me as a violation here. One pool as
Oh,
like this one. Report warning reported by one indexer.
okay. But that violation is not going to Splunk. It's not counted
Yeah,
as a Splunk violation.
yeah, yeah. If your total violations are exceeding this 10 GB, then it will be counted as a violation.
Okay. Okay.
This is also clear to you. From where these warnings and these violations are coming from? These warnings and violations are coming from here, our platform alert setup. Clear? You are able to link it now?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, great. Practical time. I think you also know this practical part. Am I clear to you? This also you know.
No. Is that the same time that no. The 10 minutes. What is the 10 minutes?
So I usually give 10 minutes of time for doing some of the tasks. Just
Okay.
adding a license, modify the license pool. I think you are already aware of it, na? That's why I'm saying. I think it
Okay.
is not
Okay.
required in your.
Okay. The 10 minutes threw me away. I thought that's part of the license, like you do it.
No, 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 no.
Okay. Yeah. Yes, I am
Okay.
aware of that. I understand it now.
Oh.
Yeah.
No, no. If you want it, it is for practical. This is a practical task. I think you already added the license. You told me you already know about the pools. I think practical is not required. Am I correct? Or if you want
Yes.
to do the practical,
No,
okay, not required. Okay,
that's correct.
okay. Now coming to the third part, that is Splunk apps and add-on. So there are a number of things written here. So I'll be explaining in just simple time. I think you already know Splunk and apps and add-on. So I want you to tell me what is the difference between an Splunk app and an Splunk add-on. Give me just
Splunk
bullet
app.
points.
Uh,
I want
uh,
bullet points. Yeah,
okay. Splunk apps have visualization. Splunk
right.
add-ons don't have visualization.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bus and what? What else?
Um, that's what I can think of.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. I think I've already written last class. Yeah. App, absolutely right. We have GUI. Add on, no GUI. App, what is there in app? In app, we have pre-built dashboard, pre-built reports, pre-built alerts. Everything is pre-built for us. That's what an app is. Add on, it's a collection of configuration files. It's a collection of files basically. Third thing is where it will be installed. App, mostly you will be installing it most of the time on the search end or in some cases on the indexer. Where an add-on will be installed on universal forwarder and in some cases indexes. Is it clear
Okay.
now? The difference is clear?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Again, one more thing, one more important difference between UF and the other component of Splunk is UF is not having GUI. This is a separate thing. It's a complete CLI or files. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Coming back to this slide, if I missed anything, let's see step by step. An app is a okay configuration file, script, web assets, and number of things. All apps. So I think you are already aware about it, no? Am I correct?
Yes.
Yeah. So one question to you: if I want to delete an app, how to delete an app? If I come here, I want to delete an app from here. How to do it?
I've never done it, so I don't know.
Okay. So so you just have to do one thing here. It's very easy. Here it is. Okay, let's go step by step. Might be some things you don't know. Let's not skip anything. Um, so if you want to see all the apps, you can easily see all the apps from here. If you want to dig deeper, click on this manage app. You
Mm-hmm.
will see the list, the whole list here. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
this is the whole list available. If you want to enable or disable any of the app, the option is here. It is not delete, it's just disable for some time.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
um, where all the apps will be installed or placed on the operating system, apps will be present in the etc apps directory. So if I come here, Splunk etc, all my installed apps are present here.
Okay. It doesn't matter what platform, right? Whether it's Windows or Linux, they are all in etc then apps.
Yeah, right,
Okay.
right. Moving to the next. Enable disable for sometimes if you want to modify the permissions here. For example, I want to give this permission modify or set the permission here. I want nobody to write it. I want only the user team to write it. I can do this changes from here.
Okay.
Okay, I don't want anybody else to read my app. I can select unselect this one.
Okay.
Okay, these are the permission settings that you can set, and this is similar for be it a report, be it alert. The permission settings will be almost similar. That's how you define it based on role. Okay, if you want to give everyone, just select this one and this one. Now everybody can read and write it.
Oh, okay. But in a
Same
production
thing.
environment, you don't want to do that.
Yeah, right, absolutely right. In production environment, we don't do it. Installing Splunk app from Splunk base, you already know it, Pat.
Yes.
If you want to install an app, yeah, you can click on here. You can search your app and you can download and install it. One question to you: any prerequisites or checks you have to do while installing an application?
I'm
While installing
thinking
the application. Second thing is while updating an application. Two things are there. Again, I'm relating it to production environment. Yeah. Any idea? What is coming to your mind? You can say anything.
I'm blank.
Oh, no issues. So, okay, we'll talk about that also. Just give me 1 minute before that. Again, one more question to you. I'm asking you too much question because you are expert on Splunk.
I'm not
So
that
suppose.
expert. If I was expert, I wouldn't ask you to teach me.
Right. So in some cases, so see, this find more apps will work only in case your Splunk is having internet access.
Okay.
In some cases, your Splunk will not be having any internet access, then this will not work. So in those cases where you will not be having internet access or you are not able to install the application, it is not installing for you due to a number of reasons. It is not working for you. So
Mhm.
there is this same website is available. Similarly, we have a Play Store. We have the Splunk based website, splunkbase.com. This is the same Splunk based website. It is opening here. You can search your app here. For example, I want Splunk app, Linux app. Linux. This Linux app for Unix and Linux. I want this one. I can download it on my base machine from here. Okay.
Mhm.
And I want to install it in Splunk. Then what I can do, I can click on this manage apps here. Install app from file. I had that app available on my desktop. I'll just click on this one and I can easily upload that and install it. This is the first case when my internet access is not there. I'm not able to find the app from here. Clear?
Mm.
It is not
Yeah.
installing from this base. I'll directly go to the Splunk base. I'll download this. I'll come to my Splunk. I'll click on this one. I'll click on manage apps and I'll install it from the file that I have. This is
Mhm.
clear.
Yeah.
Okay. Now coming to the prerequisite, what I'll be doing, I'll be checking this thing here. Splunk version it is supporting. Is it
Okay.
supporting the current version, Splunk 8.1 or not?
So
Okay.
the app itself, let's say I want to install CrowdStrike. Is
Uh-huh.
CrowdStrike going to say whether it's supported by that version or not?
Right. It will show which one CrowdStrike. It is not showing me.
That one with the bird down there, the red one.
This
Yeah.
one?
Uh,
This one I think so.
yeah.
App is this one.
Yeah. Okay.
It's
So
showing here.
it says what version it's. Okay. I see that.
Also, if you want to see the current version, it is 2.0.3. You want an older version, drop down
Uh-huh.
will be there. If it's an older version, it will show you the older version as well.
Okay.
Police is there. Shit. Uh, okay, this is done. This is done. What's next? Install an app from file, same thing. else. Deleting an app. This is the important thing. If you want to delete an app, just delete the app from the folder. Go here, whatever app you have just deleted completely, it will be removed from there also. That's
Okay.
the simple. And then just restart the Splunk server. Clear?
Okay. Yeah.
I think this also you know.
Yeah. Now I understand. Now I know.
Okay, great. Configuration file. I think part I'm done for today. We'll take it up tomorrow.
Okay.
If you have liked our Splunk session so far, please enroll for our channel membership $399 plan to get access of all the parts. Along with that, you can access our other tutorials such as Docker, Ansible, Jenkins, Terraform, Splunk, AWS, Azure, and various other DevOps related premium tutorials with our channel membership. If you would have any issues with our channel membership, you can drop an email to us at contact@devopsschool.com, or you can also unsubscribe from channel membership anytime if you don't want to continue or did not like the video. To get our channel membership, click onto the join button, select the $399 plan and grow your skills immensely.
Please be kind enough to like it, and you can comment any of your doubts and queries. We will reply to them at the earliest.
Thanks for watching.